You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's WWE Payback After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE Payback After Show.
Yeah! What is up, everybody? Bing is for doing, and we are here doing the WWE Payback After Buzz for you on this Father's Day of 2013. Welcome, everybody. My name is professional wrestling's voice of choice, Christian Rosenberg, holding down the fort, but not doing it alone. We got a whole crew with us today. Across the desk from me, representing Monday Night Raw After Buzz, Ryan J. Morals Clum, and Mr. Showtime himself, Josh Padgett. And over on the couch, we have my co-host on Main Event, the lovely Kaori Takee, and next to her, writer extraordinaire, director extraordinaire, and avid wrestling aficionado, Mr. Max Landis, joining us.
Thank you very much.
All right. So yeah, guys, WWE Payback, and I think once it all ended, when the dust settled, we were all pretty much in agreement that this was probably thus far the pay-per-view of the year.
Pay-per-view of the year so far.
Outstanding from beginning to end, and
Even the pre-show match.
Even the pre-show was excellent, and what a great way, for the Father's Day weekend to end. In fact, I know there was a WWE superstar that wanted to wish a happy Father's Day as well. When we get that photo up, but we're gonna stick. No, okay. Well, we'll try to get up and we'll post it on the Twitter page. I guess for some reason we don't get it, but it's kind of funny. It's Mark Henry and it's hilarious. Anywho,
don't spoil it.
Well, I just said Mark Henry. I didn't say what it had to do with.
Anyone with a brain right now is like, what is it?
Well, if you keep making them think about it.
I'm sorry. Never mind.
But yeah, so we start off with the pre-show, and literally right when it starts, Damian Sandow's music hits. We don't have any build-up of other matches before the pre-show. Right on the start of the show, out comes Sandow, and we see our like pre-show and post-show crew for this pay-per-view. It's the group of Josh Matthews, Big Show, R-Truth, and Cody Rhodes.
I like that. I like the desk that they have, the kind of sports desk feel. Like every other sport does that. The NFL, the NBA, UFC. So I like the fact that the WWE is caught up and is doing the sports desk with active wrestlers in suits. We saw 2 shows ago, Wade Barrett started out in a T-shirt.
And we were thinking someone had to tell him.
Yeah, and then in a suit, was in a suit. A couple segments later, a producer was like, get him in a suit and a jacket.
Yeah, how does that happen? How do you, let him on TV like
someone
that?
Dropped the ball,
yeah.
And someone could have very well gotten fired for all we know with that. Who knows? But the payback match, so the pre-show match, Sheamus and Damian Sandow. A lot of hard-hitting action going back and forth. The biggest thing that got me by surprise in this pre-show was the fact that there was a commercial break during the pre-show match.
On YouTube.
On YouTube. Now, to be fair, this commercial break was just plugging the pay-per-view, trying to tell people, make sure you order the pay-per-view, which makes sense, but it's just in the middle of the match?
Yeah, it was full on. We'll be right back after this break.
I know.
Wait, what? We're on YouTube. We're on the internet.
Yeah, it's just I'm confused right now. Will we get another Hardee's commercial in the middle of this? I was thrown off. And then we come back from that brief commercial break where we see Sandow in control, but then Sheamus gets up, nails an electric chair drop on him. But Sandow was very impressive.
Well,
I know you two were kind of stuck in traffic, unfortunately.
No, I just read the results, and it's what they do with Sandow every time is they book him like a main eventer who can't win a match to save his effing life. I mean, he goes in, he beats the shit out of people, and then he just loses. Like every time loses, and they make him look awesome. He
my
looks
exact same gripe
awesome.
that I have with Cesaro. Cesaro has the same problem.
Absolutely.
Like, you know,
And Sandow in this match actually hit several variations of neck breakers, including one where we're like Sheamus was on the tree of woe.
I know,
and nailed
stole
it
right out of my mind.
You were thinking of trying to use that move.
That's a move I've been working on doing. I'm like, oh my god, I've never seen it before, and he just did it.
Sandow had some video camera watching your training.
And stole it right out of my brain. There's no footage of that, so it stole it out of my mind.
You were talking about a thing that's really bothered me with Sheamus's booking, where he's just a rude bully.
Yeah, that's something that the two of them talk about every week on Raw. Like, he's a bully babyface.
Yeah,
me.
Yeah, he's a jerk. Sandow, like he's the knot and also the deep blue. Oh, I'm gonna break your computer. What the shit is his problem?
And
why do people cheer for him?
And when they did that big Be a Star campaign, he was the one going, they used to make fun of me for being fat, so be a star and not a bully.
So I lifted and got real big, and now I can.
So I started. So I developed low self-esteem, and I become a bully myself, and that's what all you should do too.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I don't get it.
It's a great role model for the kids, isn't he?
Yeah, and then you know when it's all when it all settles down, Sheamus hits 3 consecutive Irish curse backbreakers, and then lines up for the bro kick, and we're thinking, or maybe Sandow's gonna duck out of it, and you know some other counter after counter the result of the bro kick, but no,
just ate it.
Just right into it and took it great, and Sheamus with the 3 count and picks up the win.
He's Sandow. He's an amazing worker.
Oh, and might add, Chicago crowd, even from the pre-show, was your typical Chicago crowd, 100% behind Sandow, booing the crap out of Sheamus.
Yeah.
It's one of those towns, right? Like we were in New Jersey.
New York, Chicago, anywhere in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just got some heel towns.
It'll be interesting to see if the fans start to turn on Sheamus with this kind of bully character.
I hope so.
I hope so.
It would have happened by now.
Yeah.
The Wade Barrett segment where he just came out and was just awful, and it was
terrible.
like, shut up. I actually have a question. Why is it that smart towns cheer heels? Is it because the heels are more complete characters? What?
I think it's just they feel they're better overall performers.
Because they have to carry so much weight of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, in a lot of cases like that, obviously there are some cases where where the babyface happens to be the better overall performer, and in those situations, I think the crowd knows that and reacts like the WWE wants them to.
Right, yeah.
Because even when Punk was a huge face leading the company, like when they still hit the smart towns, they were still cheering for him.
Yeah.
And those smart people, they want to be different. You know, they're like, oh, I know what I'm talking, so I cheer for the heels.
But do you
like
think
the people who like
it's
indie bands.
being iconoclastic, or is because for me the reason like I've always cheered Ziggler is because the way the character is booked is like more interesting to me than the way Kofi Kingston is booked. He does stuff, and that's why I always end up cheering heels is because they do stuff.
Well, they get more mic time, so you feel you connect with them more because you're watching them more.
Yeah, they're more entertaining.
You also get to sell in different ways. Like you sell completely different as a heel than a baby face.
Absolutely.
It's a lot more comical and a lot more interesting. And
it's a lot harder to be a face too, and to be entertaining. Like I mean,
it depends on the guy. I mean,
it varies on the guy.
I know guys I work with that can't get booed to save their life, and I mean I can't get really cheered to save my life. So I mean it works both ways.
I was just so happy at like our Alpha Omega show a couple weeks ago for like the first time because I never get to be a heel anymore, and I'm a heel there, and the crowd hated me, and
you said nice things about me, and then I heard that.
I'm supporting Ryan Morals. And the crowd hated that I was supporting you.
Yes.
So it was great.
They hate me there. I yelled at a little girl there.
And now the pay-per-view officially starts off, and we start off flying with the triple threat match for the Intercontinental title with Wade Barrett, The Miz, and Curtis Axel. And the crowd at the beginning chanting EC Dub. They're chanting for Heyman as opposed to the 3 guys. But as the match went on, I think the crowd actually gained a respect and was really impressed by the fact this match was at like full speed the entire time. Like they never really slowed down. A lot of different interactions, obviously, typical triple threat style. One guy goes out of the ring where 2 of them then focus on each other.
These matches are never easy to do.
Oh no,
they're
not easy to ref. They're not easy to commentate. I'm sure they're not easy to wrestle.
No, they're not. It's like, you got to get rid of one of the guys, and so you can focus on 2. Yeah, it's a pain, but they can come out well.
I forgot to mention Sheamus because I can't stand his character so much, but he punched a kid. Remember we saw?
Yes.
When he was
there was like a little 6-year-old kid here next to him, and boom, as I
Same
knocked my
thing.
headphones
He
over.
was okay with it.
It was like
didn't
when
even notice.
Biggie got AJ. In the show a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh god.
And AJ no sold it.
Shameless.
You know, yeah, AJ just
The kid no sold it. The little kid no
totally
sold it either.
Go ahead, be shame. He's a bully.
I just don't. Miz's face work is always like that, where it's just going 150 miles an hour, and that's why I've been enjoying him as a face. I'm embarrassed to say, but
Why is that embarrassing?
because it's been like, hey, it's me, the Miz, derf, 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 derf. And like it's just like
It's just easy to mess with.
But to be fair, in this match, Barrett and Axel were just as full throttle as Miz was. There was this really cool sequence in the match where Miz hit the skull-crushing finale on Axel, then Barrett threw Miz out of the ring, tries to go for the cover, and as he does that, Miz pulls him out and then tries to jump in again, but at that point, Axel was able to kick out. Just a lot of real cool sequences.
It's a good
like
way to get the crowd hot and going, you know, that fast action to begin the show with.
And then how about
building a card?
How about a finish that we've never seen before?
Yeah, very cool.
Miz locks in the figure 4 on Barrett. At this point, Curtis Axel is out of the ring, so we're thinking, okay, is Barrett going to reach the ropes, or is he going to tap and Miz is going to become the new Intercontinental Champion? Or is Axel going to run in, break the hold? No. Axel runs in, jumps on top of Axel, Axel jumps on top of Barrett, causing his shoulders to be down for the ref to count to 3, while Miz is trying to like unlock the figure 4 so he can break the pin, but not in time. And Curtis Axel becomes
his new finisher, the pinfall.
And there you go.
Finally got one.
But in his first pay-per-view, becomes the Intercontinental Champion.
There's the finish of next week for all the indie shows. That's
That was
gonna
such
be
a
done
great finish.
500 times next week.
Is anyone
Everyone's doing that.
else bothered by McGillicuddy's face? He just has a dumb face. When he talks, he sounds dumb. He can have all the cool finishes in the world. I don't buy him as the Heyman guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. See,
It's a personality thing for me with him. He's just, the character's not there.
Well, see, I
Maybe
mentioned
it's
this a
his
few weeks
issue.
ago on Main Event AfterBuzz, where it's just like, I mean, a lot of talk, you know, they're pushing Axel to the moon, obviously, as we can tell. Even if that doesn't work out, I was saying there's no reason that a Paul Heyman guy can't be in charge of the mid-card, can't be like an Intercontinental or United States champion. Now, this situation, I think, happened sooner than expected due to Fandango's injury.
Yeah, I just always go back to thinking, if you remember when Jerry Lawler was making fun of McGillicuddy and Otunga for not having any personality.
Being boring,
And so he goes, Jerry, you know who my father is? I was born with personality. And I'm like, that's, what? Then where is it? It's
we don't see it.
He's got some good in-ring chops, but yeah, the character's just not there yet.
But at the same time, at the end, I don't know if you guys noticed it, there was like actually like a real emotional moment with Axel as he's holding the Intercontinental title.
That his father held.
That his father held. In my personal opinion, the best Intercontinental champion of all time, Mr. Perfect, was, to me, I thought he was the top Intercontinental champion.
Cody Rhodes.
Greatest Intercontinental champion of all time.
Cody Rhodes.
Scary monster, doomsday Cody Rhodes. By the way, how do you go from arrogant, super self-obsessed guy to insane supervillain to American Psycho-style sadistic sociopath self-obsessed guy to guy with mustache? What the fuck happened? How did they screw this up that bad?
I don't know, but I will remind you, sir, that we are somewhat of a TV PG show.
Sorry about that.
That is your warning.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
But I agree.
Don't start doing that because he'll start swearing up a storm.
Okay.
That would just.
I don't want to be a bad
I didn't
influence.
notice. I was like,
To Josh, I'll be like, oh, it's okay tonight?
Oh, it's okay. Now we can swear.
I'm sorry.
It's all
I'm
good.
sort of an R-rated person.
Do you guys
He'll swear
think
that
that?
Nye did it.
Do you guys think that if Fandango was in instead of Curtis Axel, would have had the same ending?
Yes.
Yes,
down.
absolutely.
That was
Ending could have been the same exact way.
Not
I think
the
so.
leg
Was
drop
the title.
onto a guy in the figure 4?
Yes,
That'd be-
absolutely.
That would have been
Right.
cool.
That's absolutely what it would have been.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Curtis Axel looking up at his dad on Father's Day, winning the title that his father really helped make famous. I thought it was a really cool moment, personally.
It's very
I
touching.
think there were some other people who helped make famous before Mr. Henning had it.
No.
Mr. Hennig,
Yeah, of course there
like
were.
Pat Patterson. And, come on.
Of course, there were plenty of others. And we go right from that title match to the Divas title match.
I'm so proud of the divas.
between
The girls
Caitlyn and
showed
AJ.
up
This is cool.
This was a
fight.
fantastic Divas
Yes.
match.
Yeah.
With an actual build-up, with actual
Great.
storyline.
There was story, there was the build. Again, Chicago crowd favoring AJ over Caitlyn, but that one I don't think we were very surprised about. I think we were kind of expecting the crowd to react that way.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I think we've all kind of said on our respective shows, Caitlyn really hasn't had much of a personality.
Not much at all. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is a shame because
Caitlyn is a chick. Her personality
that mean?
she is a chick. No, her personality. No. Look at.
All right, fight.
It's a lot like.
That's why we put him on the couch.
It's a lot like Cody Rhodes' current personality is that he's some guy, and it's like Caitlyn is this chick who happens to be a wrestler, and stuff happens to her, and she acts like a person, and she
And
doesn't.
we need
there's no
character.
real person. There's no real character. She's just a person who's there. She's not a chick like she's a woman.
Okay.
Yeah. She just like walks out on stage and the arm goes up, and there's really not much.
This is hello. I'm here.
Yeah.
She cried.
Exactly. Hey, everyone.
Present.
She had a female posse with her tonight, which was
she's got
But yeah, that comes afterwards.
And it's sad because supposedly I've heard people know her like she's got this great bubbly personality and when you meet her in real life.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? Sometimes you're just like, why can't you just take their real life personalities and let them be them?
We've been saying about Big
Yeah.
E too.
Yeah.
Like Big
Big E's
E's
hilarious.
Big E's hilarious.
He's been himself a little bit more.
He's been
than
getting a little
Caitlyn
more of
has,
that,
so,
yeah. Pivotal point in this match. There's a point where Caitlyn somehow actually removes AJ's belt,
Yeah.
and you pointed out, he's like, shouldn't that? Or I don't know if it was you.
It was you. I pointed.
Someone
I
pointed out, like, that belt should have been removed from the beginning because it could be a weapon.
What I pointed out is that AJ totally gets a super big free shot on Caitlyn and then falls down and pretends to be unconscious.
Yeah.
Instead of going for the cover.
Well, she played possum, where because the referee then started to fix the ring skirt since AJ pulled it up while Caitlyn was grabbing the belt. She whacked Caitlyn with the belt while the ref's back was turned, and then fell back down acting like I didn't do anything. Kind of pulled an Eddie Guerrero.
Caitlyn passed
pulled an Eddie
out.
Guerrero there.
Well, I mean, he is right because the referee's back is turned, so he
didn't
doesn't
see
anything.
anything.
So you don't need to play possum. All you do is flip her over, go for the pin, go ref.
Come on.
I hit an Enziguri, ref. Look, she's
Yeah.
unconscious.
True. No,
She's
you make
unconscious.
unconscious.
She's unconscious, ref. I don't know what happened.
That's what I do with my
Now what the Divas told me.
managers.
the butterfly belt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How do you like Del Rio kick it? Oh, we're not there yet.
No, we're not there yet.
Sorry.
No, we're gonna have plenty to say about that match.
That's a whole conversation.
That could be an hour in itself.
Yeah.
That match. Now at this point, AJ goes off the top rope where Caitlyn catches her, gets ready to do her inverted Uranagi, which then gets countered by AJ into the Black Widow. We're thinking she's going to tap right there. This might do it. Caitlyn eventually fights out of it, hits a backbreaker, and then that leads to Caitlyn hitting a huge spear on AJ. And we're thinking, that's it. Caitlyn retained, and she's getting ready to go for the cover, and she just stops.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of
rub this in.
looking around and does the blow of the kiss,
And then the
like she did to AJ, and then
like a-
smash the head on the ground. We're thinking, wow, that's a little insult to injury. Are they going to bury AJ like that?
Rookie mistake.
But then
You
one,
never
two,
take that.
AJ kicked out
much
because she got
time.
time. She got time to
Too
recuperate.
much time. I've been trained to never do that.
Caitlyn, in the last second, figured out that she was supposed to have a character, and it cost her the match.
She was like, oh, this is a story.
Yeah,
This is art. right here.
eventually out of that, Caitlyn picks her back up, and AJ locks in the Black Widow once again. Caitlyn is forced to tap out, and we have the first two matches of the pay-per-view. We have two new champions. Big E was out there with AJ the whole time, never interfered,
Never
just literally
interfered,
just
yeah.
stood there the whole
out there.
time.
And then
Let her work.
Caitlyn completely breaks down.
She starts
which
crying.
This
Yeah.
character's
Yes,
just completely
yes.
been like a wreck.
And the commentators were talking about was just like Caitlyn's hit rock bottom, which this man right here on Raw was saying the same exact thing that he wanted to do with Caitlyn. So
Get her
you call
buried,
that.
buried at Payback tomorrow night.
The Wyatt family comes in.
Well, I
Big
say
shot. Wyatt family.
maybe
Come on,
tomorrow.
child.
Maybe tomorrow she
Have
uses
my
her
shoulder.
rematch clause and loses again. So now we know she has no shot.
Well, it's not just that she's been made. She had the secret admirer, and that's destroyed her. Like she's been emotionally getting beat up in a lot of different ways. So she's about to hit rock bottom.
She is,
She's
and
crying.
and
It's
even
good.
like Layla comes out to the entrance ramp for some odd reason. Layla comes out.
Weird-looking Layla. Layla's
She looked
looking
very odd tonight.
strange
She looked very odd
lately.
tonight, trying to console her, and then we cut to the back as they're walking in the back, all of a sudden Natalya and Alicia come out like join.
Didn't she beat the crap out of Natalya like 2 weeks ago? Didn't she snap and beat the crap out of
And she's yelled at Natalya for helping with the secret admirer, but they're BFFs. You know, that's what happens.
There is
with
no
the Divas.
continuity in the Divaverse.
So they're all trying to console. Now, I thought the interesting thing was they're all trying to console. It's like, hey, we've all lost the Divas title before. It hurts, but we were strong and moved on. And Caitlin's like, no, you guys just don't get it. You don't understand. And she runs off.
They need a heel turn on her.
She should have just passed out because I would not have given up, especially after AJ bruised her ego like
Let's
that.
give AJ a call. Have her put the Black Widow on you, and let's see whether or not you tap out.
I would just pass out. I'm not gonna die.
We can throw submissions on you right now if you want to see how long it takes you to tap.
So pull a Stone Cold or
do the Stone Cold where you just pass out in the submission. Passing out with AJ's thighs around your head isn't the worst fate.
So,
I would not object to that.
I noticed that there is a crap ton of butt angles. Every time that there's a Divas match, it's always butt angles. The cameraman,
excuse me.
It's all about the butt.
There's a lot of butt angles in the men's matches too. You just don't notice.
Corey, you're just saying that because AJ's finishing move happens to have her rear end stick out based on the hole.
When
She goes through the ring,
tapped
she
out by
bends down,
squeezing her butt.
Yeah, the butt.
And then well,
no,
I'll
it's
stop.
AJ. Sex sells.
Now while Caitlyn is crying to her locker room, we get set for the United States Championship match. Kane versus Dean Ambrose. And again, Kane kind of a mixed reaction. Dean Ambrose, crowd going nuts.
Has Kane ever held a secondary title before, like United States or
I think he's been an Intercontinental champion before. He's never been United States champion.
Yeah,
but I think he's held the IC title before.
For sure, the world. Yeah.
And he's been tag champion with like 74 people.
WWE champ for like a day, I know.
Yeah. World Heavyweight champ for a little while, but WWE champ for a day.
Yeah.
What does the Intercontinental and U.S. title do nowadays? I mean, Intercontinental used to be
the
next
guy to elevate as the next guy.
That's the world title now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean,
the world title is turned into the Intercontinental is turned into the European title.
Yeah.
The United States title is kind of turned into. Well, I'd say United States probably more so European. Intercontinental is like cruiserweight.
Intercontinental is like you're a new guy.
TV title.
It's like it's like a TV title.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Why isn't there a TV title anymore? That's such a great gimmick for a title.
That was a great gimmick. 10-minute TV matches.
Well, I'll tell you the reason for that is because it used to be, you used to have your kind of squash match show where was to get people to watch the pay-per-views or go to house shows. Titles were never defended on TV, so they made a TV title so there would be a title match on TV. But other titles were never defended on television. You had to pay to go to a pay-per-view or go to a house show to see that.
Look at the big brain on Clum.
Well, that's what I grew up with. That's right. I mean, I grew up with, it was Ultimate Warrior squashing somebody. We never got good competitive matches on TV. You had to pay to see that.
Yeah, we got in the hour TV show, probably 5 matches in an hour. The main event might have had 2 guys that you've heard of, but still a squash.
Oh, I mean, back when I was Superstars and Challenge, it was always squashes. The only time you would see Hulk Hogan would be interviewed by Mean Gene.
Oh yeah, you never saw the main eventers on the show. No,
never, ever. And I think they need to go back to that a little bit. Don't let Cena wrestle in Raw anymore. Only on pay-per-views. Let him wrestle after Raw's off the air on dark matches. Let people start paying for that, and then start moving the mid-carders up, so we can focus on them on TV a little bit more to build the stars of the future.
Do you think that would work? I feel like people feel like they're entitled to the main event.
That's what they used to do kind of back in the day, though. The TV shows were really used to build your mid-carders up, and you see that now. You've got your main eventers, and there's a big drop down to your mid-carders, and you don't have as many main eventers.
Yeah, and
right.
And now we're seeing main eventers like Kane being around the mid-card titles
to put these guys over.
To try to help put these guys over. This match, to me, honestly, seemed like the crowd was a little dead during this match because I think they were just so excited over the first 2 that they needed a little breather because they knew what was coming up later in the show.
There wasn't any. This show actually had no time for anyone to take a breath. All the matches were good tonight.
They were all good, if not great.
Yeah.
Every match tonight.
But yeah, like there was nothing really special.
There's
was
nothing
that slap move.
And this was a match.
Slap move was awesome.
Kane. This was a good
Devil's favorite demon.
This was a good Kane match, but there was no particular maybe specific moves that really stuck out. It told a good story. Ambrose working on Kane's leg throughout the match, including like a little dragon screw takedown early on. And the interesting thing is, Kane or Ambrose is getting Kane frustrated, where Kane then goes out, starts trying to set up to slam him through the Spanish announce table, which you can see in Ambrose's eyes, like, this is the plan, this is what I want you to do. Eventually, out of the ring, Ambrose hits a vicious-looking DDT on the mat, rolls back in the ring, and we have a count-out victory on a pay-per-view.
Perfect.
But in this case, I was perfectly fine with that.
Fine with it.
This is Ambrose.
It was Ambrose.
I wasn't fine with it.
Why not?
Because I don't like countouts. I always feel like it's a cop-out.
Would you have rather
It's bothered
Ambrose
me.
But it's
Yes.
But
take
what?
him out?
But
Yes.
would you? So you're okay if?
But I do like Kane.
But I was going to say, then if Kane gets pinned on a pay-per-view one-on-one clean,
Well-
that makes him look weak.
And he's the weakest
I
link.
know.
It was the
but
only
You are the
count out.
weakest link.
I mean, out of what, 7 matches, it was the only count out of the night.
Right.
So
You
know,
don't
if
think
you
a count-out makes him look weak at all?
No,
it doesn't make you look weak now.
no,
It
not
looked
at all.
like he got outgamed.
It looked like Ambrose outsmarted him.
Yeah.
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 Well, also the way they booked the Shield, I believe that Ambrose could beat Kane in a one-on-one match.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I believe that too.
Yeah.
That's why.
You're saying like, why not do it?
If you
Yeah.
book right, anybody should be booked to look like they can beat anybody. You know, I mean, it's Rey Mysterio was booked and could beat the Big Show.
Yeah.
You know, so if you do it right, anybody can beat anybody believably in pro wrestling.
you
That's
got
the
to
great
do
thing
it
about pro wrestling.
correctly. Actually, in your little YouTube video where you talk like with Dolph Ziggler, no, that actually reminded me.
You
of
know, I didn't make that. I
Yeah.
was just
No,
on
someone-
two
someone
different
else made
podcasts.
it.
Someone made it for me. It's like the nicest thing anyone's
But it
ever
makes
done.
a great
It's
point
excellently done.
where like you talked about, or like the video talking about like superstars where like over the course of years, and they were showing in that case with Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
And what you're saying like is a perfect example of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's perfect now. Like guys could eventually, early on in his career, there's no way he would have won this match, but maybe over time, eventually, as he develops, he could do so.
Yeah.
You get to stick with people. That's the most. That's
Yes.
like when Dolph won the title. It was like, you did it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's beautiful. That's what's one of the many things that's so amazing
Definitely.
about wrestling.
Yeah, and since you brought that up, we might as well bring up the thing we were talking before about his little quote on the Muppet Show. The brilliance of that
how he
quote.
compares Monday Night Raw with the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
Which is. Which he's 100% right on.
Can I go one step further with that?
Sure.
Because we were talking about tonight. You were talking about how main eventers never used to be on TV. Then the Attitude Era happened, and what ended up happening was that we had much scrappier main eventers.
Yes.
Who were more interested in fighting, who'd come out at the beginning of the show and say, I'm not going to wait till the pay-per-view. You know, in theory, I was thinking about this right after you said that, because I was like, in theory, in the Muppet Show verse of the WWE, the main event is probably supposed to be The Miz versus Cody Rhodes. But in the first 10 minutes of the show, freaking John Cena comes out and goes, I'm going to fight Ryback tonight. So they have to deal with that.
Right.
I feel like a lot of the main events are reactions to things going wrong on the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know. I've never thought about that before.
Absolutely.
That you make a great point with that. Absolutely. We got a lot more to cover. No, sorry.
No.
We got a lot more to cover, but real quick, I want to make sure that we make sure we plug AfterBuzz TV's new and updated website, AfterBuzzTV.com, where everything is new, so much easier to like stream through to find your favorite shows to watch and leave comments and everything. So make sure everyone, please go check that out. As well as, of course, make sure you subscribe and leave your comments on iTunes and YouTube and all that other fun stuff. And make sure that you subscribe, tell friends, and give us those 5-star ratings.
Yeah.
Speaking of 5 stars, after this match, we find out that we got Rob Van Dam has officially signed, and he's
Heyman guy.
officially returning at Money in the Bank next month.
Holla!
The crowd went crazy.
That's
gonna be awesome.
Ballistic.
All of a sudden, like everyone's just standing, going RVD.
I haven't heard that music in quite some time.
No,
The
it's
one of a
been
kind.
years.
Yeah.
It's been years.
Yeah,
so
it sounds so like late 90s, you know, like 2000, 2001.
Well, that's
type
when
music.
it came out.
And I was like, oh, that's nostalgia, you know?
It's weird.
nice.
Whenever I hear that music, I don't think of Rob Van Dam. I think of Edge in a motorcycle helmet because of the first one night stand when he's spearing Cena through the table.
There it is. There it is. One of a kind,
Thank
baby.
you, Edge. Thank you, Edge.
Thank you, Edge.
Crowd went nuts for this video package. We went nuts for this video package.
Like, oh my God, RVD's back.
Because we didn't know, like, we've heard rumors for a while, like, is he signed, is he not, is he going to be the new Paul Heyman guy?
We were just talking about it last week in Raw.
And finally, we have proof. And it's great, they kept it hush-hush.
I've heard rumors.
There were rumors, but nothing concrete.
Yeah, and I guess it wasn't really from rag sheets we were hearing rumors. It was through inside sources.
Right.
So, yeah, but we've heard rumors that he was going to be back.
All right. Now, this is gonna be fun because we got like 4 more matches to go through in about 20 minutes, and we know we need to spend time talking about Alberto Del Rio versus Dolph Ziggler for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Max's boy.
Really good.
Yeah, my boy.
This,
that dude.
dear God, Ziggler took a beating and a half.
How's his head feel today?
Oh my God, Del Rio focusing on the head from from Ziggler's concussions from 5-6 weeks ago, just doing nothing but punching and kicking, not working his arm.
Such a noble hero you are, Del Rio.
I know.
I called it in the first 5 seconds of the match. I said, "Oh my God, Alberto Del Rio's turning game," because he knocked him out and began stomping his head.
I was just kicking the crap out of his head.
And what I could think about was, reports you're reading like WWE is going to start doing different things with concussions, and they're going to be very careful. And then he's just getting his
when
head
they stopped Triple H, Fandango out due to injury, Tamina out due to a concussion as well right now, and the entire match is Del Rio beating the crap out of Ziggler's skull.
And then Big E steps forward.
Big E shoves him.
No. He doesn't shove him.
Oh, Del Rio
Big
shoved
E
first.
nobly protects his friend.
Hey, back off.
Back off. You're killing him. Shove. Big E gets kicked out without doing any damage. So good. So well
awesome.
written.
Where in some cases, I know I mentioned while we were watching, I'm like, Big E hit Del Rio, even though it was shoved. DQ, match over. Like, in a way, some refs could do that. But in a main event caliber, instead, he just ejects him, which looked great. But at the same time, we're wondering, because now AJ, instead of like her little quirky, happy self, she's getting sad and concerned and worried.
Face girlfriend.
She's yelling at the ref. Stop the match. Stop the match. Like Adrian and Rocky or
face girlfriend. What's her name? Miss Elizabeth.
She's not.
I mean, Ziggler trying. You okay?
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, no, I didn't catch it.
I missed it that time.
The FCC isn't coming.
Ziggler, though, still trying anything in his power to fight back, and whenever he's doing it, the crowd is chanting away behind him. But then as soon as he gets a couple moves, Del Rio just continues to blast him again, including a huge reverse superplex.
Ugh. God. Nasty.
Nobody can take that.
Nobody can take it except Ziggler.
Yeah.
Ziggler's the only guy that can do that.
And then Jerry Lawler said, right? He said, I'm not a Ziggler.
I'm not a Ziggler fan, but a lesser man would have walked away from this match.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And that's like sealed
And
it.
like,
It's
And then another part that really caught my eye as well. Del Rio hit like a baseball slide right on the back of Ziggler's head, and then here's out of the ring, Ricardo yelling at the ref and the trainer, get away from Ziggler, he's fine. And in the midst of this, Del Rio kicks AJ's Divas title away.
Into a cameraman.
Into the cameraman.
The guy's holding the cables. Hey, what are you doing?
That is the most prestigious prize for women in professional wrestling, and you just kicked it like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, but so AJ...
Is it really that much more prestigious?
AJ after the match.
For women in wrestling, yes.
I think that's...
What's that?
That's the biggest one for WWE or for women in wrestling.
AJ...
Is the knockout's not a bit more prestigious? Way better women wrestling there.
Yeah. Can you ask a casual fan who the knockout champion is? No. Can you ask a casual fan who the Divas champion is? Yes.
Wait, I got to say, AJ after the match, about to turn heel on her boyfriend because he's not the champion?
Well, she was sitting there like crying. But she still walked out with him, but she felt like heartbroken.
But she's very
I hope she
conniving.
doesn't turn on him.
He needs to go. She needs to go without Del Rio now. He's got the money. He's got the title.
I want that little Team Rocket.
She's a little gold digger.
I love
to
this
stick together.
Three's company.
But yeah,
I do like
eventually,
I love the term gold digger for championship dating girl.
Eventually, in the end, Del Rio hits his super kick while Ziggler was on his knees, which we've seen as a great false. A false finish in pretty much all of his big matches, but this time doesn't need the cross arm breaker because he hasn't worked on the arm at all. It's just worked on the head. That super kick did it. And to the crowd's shock and disappointment, Alberto Del Rio becomes the new World Heavyweight Champion. This is the 3rd title change tonight.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy in itself.
And a short reign. Was this Dolph's first title defense? Or
this was because of his injury.
Yeah,
this was his first title defense,
right?
And he dropped the title.
And his trunk said over it on the back of it.
But it's a great story, though.
Was that
him coming back for the concussion?
Told an awesome story.
Great story.
And we're talking about like this could be almost like a double swerve, turning Ziggler into a babyface and Del Rio clearly turn into a heel, especially at the end of the match. He comes back out with the microphone saying, you know, for the last year, you know, I've worked hard for you guys because you deserve a heavyweight champion like me. So, you know, like, one more time for your new world heavyweight champion. You know, just doing, like, the thing for maybe a cheap pop, and instead the crowd not buying it.
It was definitely a double turn. I mean, Shannon Ballard was in watching with us and just talking about how Ziggler was selling. You know, he's selling like a baby face. He's trying to get sympathy, you know, just everything he was
across the ring, crawling, holding his head. No, I can do it. I can do it. And AJ, when she picked him up on the outside, and she's, like, trying to take care of him, and then he just gets baseball. I was like...
And you know,
awesome.
She was like,
and he got baseball slide when the medics were like checking on his eyeballs. He baseball slides.
There was also a great audible by Michael Cole on the commentary when Ziggler hit his famouser, which came up a little botched somehow, like it wasn't really hit fully to an extent. Michael Cole was talking about how, you know, Ziggler's balance and everything could very well be off because he normally hits that full on. So, you know, selling the concussion.
Smart.
Great improv from one improviser to Mike Cole. Great job with that audible right there.
Yeah.
A lot of people were commenting on Twitter that this match was a lot like Steve Austin and Bret Hart's
double turn.
Yeah, it was a
as
double
far as the double turn feel, absolutely. Absolutely.
When's the last double turn we even saw? Like that
might be it.
I mean, that's one I can think of. But
that's eons ago.
I'm sure there have been
that's 16 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's been something since then.
I'm sure there have been, but like I can't think of anything major.
I mean, I'm trying to think. Maybe it was something with Orton somewhere in there, but yeah, I don't know. We'll probably find out.
I just can't see if Dolph turns face, how AJ's going to turn face with him.
I say stick her with Del Rio. Let her be the girl that chases dates everybody that has the title.
Or she stays with Big E or something. Yeah.
Why do they all of a sudden have to be cookie cutter good guys? Why can't we have the tweeners still? Why can't they still?
We already have a You got Miz. You got him.
Miz is not a tweener.
Yes, he is.
If he still was acting like a dick to everyone,
he's still acting like a dick to everyone.
Sheamus is a tweener.
I just don't like him.
Sheamus is a face. He's a face, but he's awful.
But he's a bull.
A badly written face.
He's a
and then Del Rio was a tweener up until tonight.
Yeah.
Del Rio wasn't a tweener. He was fighting a racist.
But he's still been hitting people from behind.
He's been attacking. He's been
striking people with weapons,
jumping from
I like Del Rio today.
I agree with you on that.
He absolutely is a tweener.
And you want to talk about another tweener? I'm just keep going because of the time. No, it's all right because normally 3 hours. You guys get an hour and a half. We got 50 minutes to get everything in. But speaking of tweeners, the battle of the best in the world, where Chris Jericho comes out, and then who right now is considered probably like the ultimate tweener, Mr. CM Punk. Yeah. Where, of course, the Chicago crowd erupts.
Vintage Punk.
Vintage Punk. I have that written down in quotes. Vintage Punk.
He hits his high knee in a turnbuckle and yells to Michael Cole, "Vintage Punk," which we all laughed hysterically over. This match. At first, Punk looked uncomfortable. I know we were kind of talking about he looked a little uneasy
he seemed
for some
a little
reason.
Upset.
He hasn't wrestled since WrestleMania. He hasn't been in the ring since, that was April 7th.
Oh, to be fair, also Heyman volunteered him in there, so he might have to be like a little upset about it.
He kind of looked like he didn't.
Why he wanted
he didn't look. He looked like he didn't want to be there.
What he looked like?
He kind of looked like Wolverine. He looked like Hugh Jackman.
Let's be honest.
He had the chops going.
I liked it.
And he was battling Gordon Ramsay tonight.
He looked friggin' cute, Punk, tonight.
I love it when his hair's like that.
It's weird because like all these girls, all my friends talk about wrestling. Like you show it to girls and they're like, oh, the big muscles and stuff. The only male wrestler I've seen who my female friends react to is CM Punk.
I disagree.
I think it's because he looks like a guy they'd meet at like a punk show. Who's like
the bad guy that they fall for.
Yeah. Yeah. Or just like a douchey guy who works in an art collective, like just.
Oh no!
He works at a bicycle shop.
Yeah,
he repairs bicycles.
I would say if Cena's Superman, he's Batman. I would say.
He's like a villain though.
Yeah.
Well, but tonight he was a complete face. He played.
Well, the Chicago crowd made him a face.
But he played it to the crowd.
Well, he definitely did play it to the crowd. And there were parts during this match where
and there was some dissension with Heyman.
Yeah, Heyman was like very. There was a point where Heyman started climbing up to the apron. and it distracted Punk.
He said, Paul.
Yeah, Paul, like, what are you doing? And then Jericho rolled him up to lock him into the walls of Jericho.
Which is weird because Punk was on top at the time. He was he was getting him up in the GTS and everything.
Which was the
Heyman
confusion of that.
Was worried, yeah.
And we don't know why yet. But then Punk countered the walls of Jericho, got out of it. Well, literally got like lifted up and put on the Anaconda Vice from there, which is a really interesting way to counter into that move. And this move was full of technical wrestling and counter over counter over counter over counter. Oddly enough, maybe like the slowest paced match until the end, but still told a really good story.
Yeah.
And maybe the laziness of Punk in the beginning is part of the story. You know, he's just like, I'm just going to cash this one in. You know,
lazy's a good word because it kind of felt like Punk woke up from a long nap.
Yeah,
and he just got out there. Okay, I'm going to.
It was really slow.
He had to knock the ring rust off. I mean, it's 2 months of ring rust. That's a lot.
There's even the point where
trust me, I'm out for a couple days and I can feel it.
Right.
You know,
and there's a point where Punk hit his usual combo: high knee, the bulldog, the top elbow, the GTS. But Jericho still kicked out. And
fighting spirit.
Yeah, the fighting spirit of Jericho, the shock of the crowd, the shock of Punk. Eventually, Punk finally gets the GTS again, where Jericho gets hit with it, bounces into the turnbuckle, falls back into Punk, who then hits it again, and the second time
that was
looks
cool.
sick.
Yeah.
And then Punk gets the 3 count and the win. And while Heyman, at the end, like Punk's celebrating, trying to recover, Heyman's looking at him like, you did it. You are the best in the world. And it seemed like CM Punk was kind of like brushing him off.
Yeah.
Turned his back a little bit.
Yeah. I'm really curious to see where this went.
CM Punk like specifically said something.
They said something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. He was like, and Paul went.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll find out tomorrow.
I have an opinion
I'm sure.
question. Do you guys think that there might be a Punk Heyman breakup in the mist?
Yes.
See, I'm seeing that looking at
Punk Heyman breakup in a feud with RVD, the new Heyman guy.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
I was actually thinking, what if
love
RVD comes in and Heyman has Lesnar go after him, or like tries to destroy him because he's not a Heyman guy.
Right. Or he tries to pull him in as a Heyman guy, and RVD's like, no, and then absolutely, that's a great story.
But what do you guys pitch the idea? Who was it who pitched the idea of RVD coming back at Money in the Bank and winning? Who said that?
I said he would win.
And
then Heyman come down.
And then Heyman could come out.
And then holds up his hand. It's like
goes from in one match from face to heel.
Because that's what I was saying that, because if you're gonna make him a heel as a Heyman guy, you have to bring him as face first, because you're gonna get the pop when he walks in.
Yeah.
Which was like one of the brilliant things when they brought Jericho back and he was doing that thing, because they tried to make him heel, but you're gonna get the pop. So everyone's gonna love RVD, so he's gonna be a babyface. Then you got to do something to turn the crowd on him after that. Because you're going to get the immediate crowd. Yeah, he's back.
Well, we shall see. And we got this Chicago crowd goes from going crazy for Dolph Ziggler to going crazy for CM Punk, and immediately after going crazy for Daniel Bryan, as we got the tag title match. Daniel Bryan and the Shield. Daniel Bryan and Randy, and they popped forward too. They loved everybody in that match.
Is there anyone hotter than Daniel Bryan right now?
Nope.
Daniel Bryan.
Simple answer.
And you
nope.
just had a Dolph Ziggler and CM Punk match back to back, and now you go throw Bryan in the mix. These people relentless.
I just want to throw a question to the chat row real quick while we're going over this, because we're all going nuts about this. I'm kind of curious as far as chat row if they can start posting what they felt the match of the night was, because we all these matches have been great. I don't know if I can pick one.
Ziggler Del Rio, I think. For me.
It might be Ziggler Del Rio. But
just because
all these matches,
I love the story of that.
I love the Intercontinental title match at the opening too.
Yeah, I like that too. I mean, we could go on that for a while. Yeah, we can talk about this later,
but so Shield starts early in control. Daniel Bryan makes the hot tag to Orton, where I found it kind of interesting. He goes to set up his
Team RK No.
Orton goes to set up his DDT onto Rollins, but then he sees Reigns coming in, kind of punches him, pushes Rollins aside, and then grabs Reigns and hits the DDT. Were you about to say something?
Yes, we're getting responses. A lot of them are saying Ziggler and
the Ziggler Del Rio for the match of the night.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Good for them.
It had to be Ziggler Del Rio.
Yeah, for me it was.
It's all about storytelling. And
I still give props. Second place for me is a Divas match, because I was really
Divas match was great.
Really
and for me, Del Rio is one of the best storytellers of taking a body part and working on it, and he did that with the head tonight. He's amazing with that.
And best sign of the night was during this match, and
Best sign of the
best sign of the night. Somebody walked by with a sign that said, "Don't hinder gender."
I love that sign tonight.
Rock your face.
Best moment was
Don't hinder gender.
Yoshitatsu sighting. That was.
I still,
we're gonna get to that momentarily.
All right.
Shirt.
We're gonna get that momentarily.
Ichiban.
But yeah, Shield at this point then eventually regained control, and Orton just dominated him for several moments, and the crowd starts going nuts because they're like, we know what's coming. We know Daniel Bryan's going to get that hot tag soon, and he's going to go nuts, and we can't wait for it. Sure enough, Orton hits an exploder suplex on Rollins, suplexes him into Reigns in the turnbuckle, makes the tag, and there goes the crazy Daniel Bryan hitting like his running turnbuckle drop kicks.
Yep.
Just going nuts, and eventually goes for a suicide dive on the two of them out of the ring, and they move out of the way, pull Orton in the way, and Daniel Bryan hits Orton by mistake, and all of us are thinking, heel turn, heel turn, heel turn, please! We didn't really get that tonight.
No.
But
I want to say that move, what he did to Daniel Bryan, to me did not look like a mistake. He went like this. Like that. He threw him into that spear.
Yeah,
and do you guys
talking about the
do
spear at
people
the
in-
end. The spear at the end
Yeah,
of
the
the
spear
match.
at the
Yeah.
end. Isn't that
Yeah.
right where we were?
Oh, we're talking about the suicide dive first on the Orton. No,
sorry.
but no, we were
Same-
getting into that.
same
no,
thing,
but,
yeah.
but
Do
it
the
got-
people in the chat
it
think
got
it
into a
looked
fun
like he did
sequence
that?
at the end. I think he did. I think you're
I
right.
think
He definitely
Yeah.
pulled Brian.
Do people in the chat think he did it? I wanna
Yeah,
know.
and that's something he would do because he would have blamed Bryan for him being hit earlier
But
on
yeah,
with the suicide dive.
Real fun sequence at the end of the match where we see Reigns spear Daniel Bryan, and then Orton RKO's him, and then Rollins tosses him out of the ring, and in doing so, then he goes off the rope and hits what clearly is Seth Rollins' new finishing move, which is some combination of a famouser and a curb stomp.
Yeah.
And just literally jumped up with his foot and crashed Daniel Bryan's head into the mat. And the Shield retain the tag titles.
Yeah.
And in the midst of this, then Orton just gets up and walks to the back, leaving Daniel Bryan by himself.
Right.
And someone in the audience yelled, "Damn it, Orton! It's all your fault!"
Oh, really?
Perfect.
That one.
Perfect. And now from there, we get to our main event of the
Yes.
evening, the three stages of hell. John Cena and Ryback. And we get a long video package for this, and we get a long explanation from ring announcer Justin Roberts about each fall. This is what happens in a lumberjack match. This is what happens in a tables match. As if none of us know yet from keeping up with all the shows.
Of course.
And out come the lumberjacks, and yes, we have
A lot of
sightings.
lumberjacks, too. 30 lumberjacks.
30.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of
That's a
lumberjacks.
lot.
We
I
have-
like it, though. It looked great.
We have a
lot of paydays.
Yoshitatsu sighting. We have a JTG sighting.
That's an expensive match.
Kurt
I mean,
Hawkins,
that's
Alex
30
Riley.
payouts.
Cesaro.
Cesaro, DiBiase, tons of funk, primetime players, 3MB.
everybody.
And then even some main eventers. Sheamus is out there. Big E is out there.
Justin Gabriel.
Is
Oh,
Big E?
main
Yeah,
eventer is Justin Gabriel.
Yeah.
Well, he's on main
What was
event.
Is Big E?
He's on main event.
He's
That's true.
He's
That's
resident
true.
main event, so.
I thought it was interesting. I tweeted about this to see Wade Barrett, Darren Young, and Heath Slater stomping John Cena.
Oh, yeah,
I got
the-
like warm Nexus nostalgia. Did you notice that the bad guys were on the left and right of the ring, and
Yeah.
the good guys
Yeah.
were on the top and the bottom? Is that always how it is?
Yeah.
They usually try to
Yeah,
separate
They
there's
usually
two
separate them to an
sides.
extent.
I've never noticed that in my life. I feel like a moron.
Yeah, you've got the heel side and the baby
Well,
face
you
side.
have your beautiful moment here, man, that you loved.
My beautiful moment? Yeah. Oh, the splash? I was just
gosh.
the biggest highlight of the lumberjack match
Oh, is
is
the
Cena climbing the top rope.
Is that a tope or the? It's just
No, it's just top rope.
It's just a top rope dive.
like flying body press. Everyone is brawling.
Because
But you know,
on the outside.
you know how the brawl
Between-
started, right? Because Cesaro,
Because Ryback or Cesaro shoved Ryback or something like that.
Well, Ryback shoved Cesaro, and Cesaro was like,
Screw
"Forget
that.
that."
That's
Oh,
right.
and
I was
then-
just going,
Everybody
and then
gets
Abel started
Everyone
brawling.
started.
So-
Everybody murdered Ryback.
So there's, including Ryback, there are 31 people brawling right in that small
Awesome.
the
space.
whole locker room.
Cena climbs up, well, first slips off the top rope, then climbs back up, hits a crossbody, which knocks down all
Everybody.
31 people.
Awesome. like a
we
mosh
see
pit
replays
gone
of
wrong.
Damian Sandow or Sin Cara who are like 20 feet away from where he actually hit, and they fall.
Well, you see, they learned their lesson from when Jimmy Snuka Jr. had to catch Undertaker, so they put all 30 people out there to catch Cena.
We have 30 of you. One of you better catch Cena.
The sonic boom of Cena leaping off.
Everyone fell
like
from
dominoes.
one splash.
If you watch that match, Titus, everybody falls. Titus turns around, sees that everybody fell, and then slowly lays down.
he forgot his cue there. It was like, oh, oops.
All you need is the bowling pin sounds. That's what you needed.
Yeah, it's like dominoes falling.
I'm sure someone will post that online soon.
For sure.
Someone do that and send it to us, please.
I'll do it. I'll send it to you.
Kaori will do it and send it to us. Meanwhile, then eventually, Cena and Ryback get back in the ring, and kind of out of nowhere, a shell shock by Ryback and clean pins the WWE champ. So Ryback
In
goes up
7 minutes.
and the first fall took 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
Beat John Cena in 7 minutes. Cena got
Pin
no
John
offense.
Cena in 7 minutes in a lumberjack match.
After he
Clean.
got the shit beaten out of him by the entire roster.
Yeah.
Ryback got destroyed.
Yeah.
He
Then
still
from
won.
there,
What a hero.
Monster.
we go to the tables match where Ryback continues to be in control. Goes, gets a table, getting ready to power bomb him through it. But then Cena counters, gets up in the A. But as he does that, Ryback wisely flips the table with his hand.
That was cool.
So you
Cena
can't
has
throw
to
him
put
through
him
the
down,
table.
yeah.
Yeah, you were saying you've never seen that before.
I've never seen someone reach over and flip a table.
I don't know if we have seen that before. And in the midst of this, then they start brawling outside of the ring a little bit. And somehow in the midst of that, the table is set up on the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember seeing anybody set it up, but the table is now on the turnbuckle.
Yeah,
Maybe
Cena was
the
doing
table
it
put
in the.
itself in the corner.
Maybe.
Maybe it walked over there.
Maybe.
The magic table.
Magic table. And so Ryback, though, regains control on the outside of the ring, throws Cena in, brings the steel steps into the ring.
With the crazy throw.
With the throws
oh my
in there.
gosh.
I've never seen it thrown that high up.
Yeah.
And at that point,
volleyball.
I like to pat myself on the back a little bit because I said he's going to throw the stairs
Yes,
at
you
Cena,
did.
and the stairs are
Seconds
going,
before.
and the stairs are going to break the table.
Yeah.
And sure enough, that's what happened. And I'm like, I know some wrestling.
Then it
you wanted
happened
to jump.
again.
I
and
know
you said,
that.
I'm like,
I didn't predict
all right, I
that
didn't predict it to happen twice. But then finally, a third table is set up. Ryback sets up for the shell shock again. But where the table is, Ryback isn't going to be able to slam him in the shell shock through the table. So we know the shell shock isn't going to happen because he's got to fall this way with it.
Yeah.
And the table's on the opposite side.
Right.
So then Cena just counters that. AA through the table. Who knew we were going to get to the third fall in the 3 stages of hell?
And who knew Ryback would pop right up after that?
Ryback completely no-sold the table
Stupid
spot.
table.
Totally
Nope.
no-sold it.
Ryback eats stupid table. Ryback don't care.
Ryback no care about
Ryback gets launched in the air in an AA and lands on the table with his mouth and swallows the whole thing.
And then we start brawling for the ambulance match, and literally every part of the ambulance is used as a weapon. All of a sudden, Cena opens the
To the
side
point
door.
where it got a little silly.
Yeah, Cena
Yeah,
opens the
it was a
side
little
door and
silly.
pulls out about 27 crutches.
Which is like, he's pulling all these crutches out, and they're all falling. He's like, nah, this is the one I want. I'm like, what about the 9 that you just threw on the ground?
It was for one octopus.
Yes.
His lucky.
That's his lucky crutch. It's his lucky crutch. We'll also see Ryback goes for a big right hand on Cena and punches through the passenger window.
Goldberg.
Yeah, more Goldberg
Goldberg.
chants. Yeah, Goldberg chants throughout this match. And actually, the crowd was probably more behind Cena in this match, surprisingly, than Ryback. Which
You pointed out that when
Yeah.
Ryback came out, there was just
the
Yeah.
crowd was
And then
dead when
Cena
Ryback came out.
and it was
And there was
booming.
Well, it was like the usual mixed reaction for Cena, but that was still
It's still
greater
booming.
than what
And was it?
Ryback got.
Didn't that
Yeah.
happen at the last pay-per-view too? Didn't or one before where he got no reaction?
Mania,
I think
well,
so.
Mania,
It
Ryback got
wasn't-
nothing.
But it wasn't Mania. It wasn't against Mark Henry or
That was
who he
Mania.
wrestled?
Yeah.
The Mania was
Are you
Ryback
talking about
Who did he
Henry.
wrestle the next? Oh no, it was against
Extreme
Cena. It
Rules
was
and
Cena
the Last Man
again.
Standing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
We also get a point where Cena pretty much like throws Ryback through the driver's side door. They open it up,
was popped up,
and I think
yeah.
it's kind of funny that door for some reason did not have a window.
The window could have been
Oh my
down
God.
inside the door.
Yeah, no window on that door.
I didn't even notice that.
No window at all in
I
that
feel
door, and then
terrible,
picks up the
detective.
door and throws it at him. They then go onto the windshield with a odd back body drop, which then
Or did you
somehow
talk
breaks
about
the
when he just
windshield.
ripped the like front panel off the
Yeah.
the thing just.
I haven't even said that part yet.
Yeah,
Ripped the front panel.
I also like how that Cena was trying to stuff Ryback in the front seat, the driver's seat.
That would have been such a funny way to lose an ambulance match. Aha!
And then my second called spot of this match was when I said Cena's going to grab the sirens, and Cena literally pulled the sirens off and used them.
Was that a called spot, or were you joking?
I said, watch him use the sirens. And he did. And eventually they both end up on top of the ambulance, where somehow...
Which I then called AA off the top.
Well, you called AA off the top, but somehow Ryback went through the roof of a car, of a giant ambulance truck. He broke through it, thus being in the ambulance with the door shut. And Cena wins. How do you go through the top of a car?
And
if you're Ryback.
If you're Ryback, big
how
boy.
does your cameras miss that?
And the cameras completely missed it.
How are you?
We didn't get it until the replay.
15 cameras shooting
We only got it on the replay.
I just don't feel like a vehicle that can be pulled apart by bare hands and have a man drop through the top of it is safe to be transported.
And then the ambulance drives off with no driver door, no mirrors. There's a freaking hole in the roof of the car.
How awesome.
And no sirens. No sirens.
How great would it be if we had a WWE.com bit about that driving down the road to the hospital?
And a cop pulls the car over because it can't be on the road.
I legit thought Ryback was going to bust out of the ambulance and just whip Cena's ass.
Come right back out.
Yeah, I did. You kind
Really?
of?
I kind of felt he was going to do it too, but he didn't.
Yeah.
No, Ryback is dead now. Ryback is dead.
Ryback's gone.
A moment of silence for
He was sent to the medical facility.
Someone in the chat joked and said, breaking news, Ryback is now at NXT. He got dropped off at NXT.
Ryback was driven straight to Orlando.
Yep. What it do? Here comes Skip Sheffield.
Well, that wraps up what, like we were saying at the beginning, probably the best pay-per-view of the year thus far.
Yeah,
every match exciting. I'm sorry.
Wouldn't it have been cooler if Ryback shell-shocked Cena, both of them through the ambulance, and then you'd have a second pay-per-view in a row?
That would have been cool.
That would have been
Let's have a third one, and then people would actually be really excited.
I'm over seeing Ryback doing what he does. I want him to do something different.
I liked him tonight. His pay-per-view matches are fun. I think they're fun.
I don't know.
Ryback?
He's a monster.
I like Ryback versus Daniel Bryan so much that I'm down.
That was fun.
I trust him.
Let's get that.
Yeah, we're getting to that point.
That was a
Daniel
good
Bryan with anybody.
And we're starting to hear our music because we did it. We went through this pay-per-view in 50 minutes. So bravo, all of us.
We didn't get to talk about Superman.
We didn't get to talk much about
Max
Superman,
Landis, go see Man of Steel, boy.
But
Hey, I haven't seen it yet. I'm not going to recommend it.
Wow.
I don't know. I have to see it.
Well, Max,
Check out the Chronicles.
Max, check.
What is the Chronicles?
Max?
Go see Frankenstein in 2014.
And Max,
go see Me and Her.
Max, how can people reach out to you if they want to talk to you? Of the crazy wrestling and vulgar mind.
If you ever want to talk to my crazy, vulgar, fantasy-obsessed mind, you can reach out to me on Twitter at Up to My Knees. Up to My Knees, spelled like you fell in something and you're up to your knees. I'm fairly interactive.
All right, Kaori.
You can find me on my Facebook page on Twitter at KAORIOUS Kaori.
Josh Padgett at Showtime Josh on Twitter.
Ryan Clum at Cluminator.
All right, and you could follow me at CRosieVOC. Check these two out on the Monday Night Raw AfterBuzz. Tomorrow night. Check Kaori and I out on Main Event AfterBuzz on Thursday night. And for Max Landis, Kaori Takee, Josh Padgett, Ryan Clum, I'm Christian Rosenberg. See you next time.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.